Muy buenas chavales, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a otro vídeo para el canal. ¿Qué tal estáis chicos? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo van esa semanita rica, riquiña? Hoy es viernes, por fin llega el fin de semana. ¡Oh, qué locura, qué bendición para los que trabajan entre semanas! Eso sí, que los que trabajan en el fin de, pues lo siento mucho, muchísimo ánimo y a darle caña al trabajito. Y nada, que sepáis, antes que nada, que esta noche hay Explanizando Alce Mecánicas, ¿vale? En el canal de Humero, de Kik, ¿vale? Yo estaré con él ahí a tope. Claro, yo desde aquí, desde mi caseta, desde mi humilde y dulce hogar con mi hijita y mi señora. Así que nada, pues estaremos ahí, bueno, lo de siempre, Humero, Poquín y yo, viendo al bot y eso, papel y boli, muy atentos porque se vienen muchas mecánicas. Y nada, ahora sí, vamos a empezar con el vídeo de hoy. En el partido de hoy juegan CYNIC contra ELYSIUM. Y bueno, y este fin de semana voy a intentar subir otro partido del Mundial, ¿vale? Bueno, dos partidos más del Mundial, porque sé que hay mucha gente que no se lo ha visto por verlo analizado en mi canal y me sabe súper mal, me sabe jodidamente mal que alguno de vosotros hagáis eso. Lo agradezco con todo mi corazón, pero entonces como me sabe muy mal, pues voy a intentar esforzarme para tener los partidos cuanto antes, ¿vale? Y, y nada, eso, que en el partido vamos a ver CYNIC contra ELYSIUM, cuarto puesto contra quinto puesto. Me he pasado un partido, ¿vale? Que ha sido Oracle contra Vic, ¿vale? Este partido no está por aquí, ¿vale? Está por aquí. Ha ganado Oracle 3-0 a Vic, ¿vale? Y para que sepáis, no. Ya sabéis que hay partidos que, por ejemplo, yo digo, los que sean de tabla baja, en plan de puesto 7 para abajo, en principio no creo que los analice, ¿vale? Voy a tirar más hacia tabla alta, tabla media, máximo sexto puesto. Por ejemplo, si juega Jinx contra Epic, pues ahí no sé si lo veré, pero vamos, que os digo, sobre todo para no, porque si me pongo a analizar todos los partidos, voy a tratar mucho de subirlo en todos los partidos que son así, que no va a pasar nada, porque me da igual que gane, ahora creo que gane Epic, no van a subir arriba y no van a ir a fin y al cabo a las rondas finales del torneo. Así es, todo me voy a fijar en los 6 primeros puestos, sobre todo. Y nada, eso, que bueno, que os lo metió Oracle a Vic 3-0, ¿vale? Para que lo sepáis. Y ya está. Vale, pues eso, Invictus CYNIC contra ELYSIUM, cuarto puesto contra el quinto puesto, pero si os fijáis, la única diferencia es que CYNIC ha ganado un set más, ¿vale? Si os fijáis, simplemente 6 sets ganados y ELYSIUM ha ganado un 5, ¿vale? Vamos, es un resultado muy parecido, van prácticamente empatados, así que quien gane este match, pues se pondrá arriba del otro con una diferencia ya bueno, interesante más que nada. Así que nada, tengo aquí por aquí las partiditas y vamos a empezar. Ojalá aguantadas. Ya sabéis que es máximo 4 rondas, máximo, ya sea un 3-0 o un 2-2, ¿vale? Entonces, porque si se van 2-0 y luego 2-1, puede ser un 3-1 o un 2-2, ¿vale? Entonces, se juegan 4 rondas y paso que pase. A ver si podemos ver 4 ronditas ahí bien suculentas, ¿sabes? Que es 4,48 por aquí más o menos.
Some unexpected snipes.
Vale, estáis viendo los kills que se pueden jugar.
Making sure the survival.
Vale, empezamos con una artista en Azaró, pues ya sabéis, un killer bastante fuerte, bastante difícil de utilizar. Suelen hacerse bastantes cuelgues, es un killer que se hace muy fuerte cuando hay 3 motores en el mapa. Lo normal que el killer juegue solo una parte y la otra sude completamente. Y killer que campea muy fácilmente a la par que controla generadores. Así que vamos a ver qué tal se juega. Lo juegan en moción de la cacería, si no recuerdo mal, en moción de la caza, para que, digamos, le cueste más tiempo quitar los totems a los supervivientes y eso, le cueste más quitar la ruina. No lo entiendo, la verdad, yo no me lo pondría. Esta perk es fuerte cuando llevas un build de totems, en plan, todos totems de maleficio, pero solo con ruina no merece la pena y me he puesto inmortal, pero bueno, cosa de Ultro, que es el killer de CYNIC, el main artista. Pero bueno, las 3 perks están muy bien escogidas. El tema de addons, perfecto, las manos para que los cuervos se dividan cuando hitea a un superviviente y hay otro cercano. Y el addon verde este es para regalar los cuervos cuanto antes. Así que nada, a la verdita, a quitarse al señor Ultru. Creo que no lo he visto jugar nunca, o no lo recuerdo, ¿vale? Así que a ver qué tal lo hace.
Have to show their best. And ladies and gentlemen, off we go here with the artist. Ultra is coming out against Marco, Pedro, Oscar and Zeno, and that looks like...
Vale, empieza golpeando a uno directamente y solo con un cuervo, así que puede que haya un snipe si no hay armarios cercanos. Ya sabéis que este mapa contra el artista, lo malo que tiene el artista es que hay armarios muy cercanos y es fácil quitarse los cuervos.
Beautiful corrupted 3-gen up there.
Yes, a very...
Ha tirado uno rápidamente porque sabe que hay un armario muy cercano y es la única posibilidad de dar. Si se pone a meter 3, no va a dar. Y obviamente ya veis que se lo ha quitado Pedro muy rápidamente. Bueno, Marco, Pedro, Oscar y Seno no te la diga nada. Los suplentes de ELYSIUM, unas bestias pardas, así que sin dudas lo van a poner muy difícil al señor Ultra.
Very beautiful corrupted 3-gen indeed. I think Ultra's going to want to hold this down coming into the late game. But wow, that was a very early snipe, but it wasn't there was no follow through, which is a little bit unfortunate if you are Ultra, but just having that information in the first place has got to be some good news if you're looking for early game pressure.
Muy buena mago ahí de Pedro.
That being said, oh, nice window fake coming in from Pedro here. But yeah, I think it's too far zoned into the tile to really make it to anywhere.
Ahí estaba jodido, no podía hacer nada Pedro.
Without getting a hit. So very well played by Ultra there, getting that zoning. And the injure does come in onto Pedro HC here. A very nice dodge out onto the dire crows. Sorry, I just had to make sure to highlight that they are dire crows.
A tomar por culo la emoción de la caza.
The first Hex Totem is cleansed. We do see Thrill of the Hunt and Ruin, but Thrill is now gone. Ruin is still in play. The Ruin should be very easy to cleanse now that Thrill of the Hunt is no longer protecting it dire.
Es que no se puede hacer nada contra el artista, es muy frustrante, es que no se puede hacer nada. Para te meter un cuervo y tienes que ir a la estructura o hit. Así que nada, vas a la esquina para ganar lo máximo tiempo posible y ya está. Es así.
Pedro here going down.
Por eso es un killer tan fuerte. O sea, hay sitios donde es un win-win, no puedes hacer nada.
Of course, that's a tactical play. But yeah, unfortunately, the Ruin already losing its protection. The Grim is an interesting purchase. We haven't seen that in too many cases so far in season.
Dos reparando y uno yendo al por rescate.
10. Popularity of that perk dropped a little bit. Pedro now here as mentioned.
Ahí tenemos la cogida.
In the first state, Grim coming out for a few seconds, protecting the gens, causing a little bit of downtime on the survivor side. So they now have to decide who's going to take a reposition, who's going to circle around towards the unhook.
Está detrás de la ventana, está detrás de la ventana.
And who's going to potentially stick towards the generators. Here also trying to find...
Qué raro que habiendo hecho un cuelgue tan rápido no esté cerca del gancho para tunear, porque es un cuelgue muy rápido. Le hubiese rentado mucho estar cerca del gancho para tunear lo más rápido posible.
One of these survivors not able to do that, but as soon as the unhook is coming through, we are getting our Twitter rage material. That's going to be a beautiful...
Buah, por poco nada.
Full tunnel right here, and it's very understandable, right? Ultra wants to make sure that Pedro is leaving the trial as early as...
Qué mal Pedro, aquí fatal, muy mal la comunicación con Claudette, con Seno, fatal, o sea, no se puede tirar el palet, no tiene ningún sentido, a no ser que tenga golpe decisivo, si tiene golpe decisivo me callo, ¿vale? Pero si no tiene golpe decisivo esto ha sido una cagada gigantesca. Aquí la Claudette tenía que haber saltado por la ventana y cubrir a su compañero y el palet dejarlo para salir de la zona. Aquí muy mal jugado por ambos.
Possible nice play there with the Shark Pilot dropping that early in terms of assisting the survivor. Unfortunately though, it seemed like Pedro wasn't really aware of what's about to happen and therefore just unfortunately with the medium ball.
Pues cagada, no hay golpe decisivo. Esto es una cagada bastante grande.
Going down here. That's going to be the second hook stage already. Ultra can feel really good.
Solo los vendedores están reparando, ¿vale? Ese es el mayor problema, no están reparando los tres. O bueno, el killer puede tunear, pero hay tres personas reparando, pero dos personas reparando cambia mucho la historia.
Absolutely, Dire. And also just want to say that first down came in at 1 minute and 15 seconds. It was pretty decent time to get your first.
¿Ves ese cuervo? Ese cuervo... Si es el del palet, hostia.
Down on the artist, so there's definitely no slacking in this early game pressure for sure, Dire.
Ya está.
But that being said, we are finding ourselves into chase with Zeno, who is going to stay in the chat.
No sé qué está haciendo Seno, sinceramente, haciendo un lupeo en la zona del gancho, no tengo ni puta idea, literalmente. Esto es una cagada gigantesca.
Backside, which is free pressure if you're camping out Pedro here. So I don't know if I entirely agree with this taking this chase here at Shaq, but I mean that does leave both Oscar and
No vayas a por Claudette, quédate con Pedro.
Marco to be working on generators uninterrupted, so maybe it's not too terrible. Oh, nicely done with the severed hands value coming in. That's a really strong add-on. We love to see use of that add-on. I do think that Pedro's going to cleanse his bird before anything really happens.
Por poco ese cuervo,
But it was
aquí un cuervo en la ventana y ya está jodido.
definitely a nice setup for sure, Dire.
Yeah, now it's the question, right? How many sacrifices does Elysium want to take here? How
Muy buen sprint.
many bodies will be thrown
Muy buen sprint ahí.
between the killer and Pedro? That's one.
Aquí mal jugado por el artista, ¿eh? Debería haber puesto un cuervo así. Mirad.
Yeah, now
Vale.
it's
Lo ha puesto así, ¿vale? Pues ponerlo al revés. O sea, prefiero.
Gonna cleanse his bird before any.
Ponerlo de aquí para allá. De aquí para allá. ¿Sabes? Intentas hacer como un amago de saltar ventana, algo, ¿sabes? Algo imprevisible. Poner el cuervo aquí, te la juegas a perder la visión y no da. Pero si lo pones por aquí y intentas hacer un pequeño juego con la ventana o con venir por aquí, obviamente se lo come, ¿vale? Se lo come. Pero aquí mal jugado por último.
many sacrifices. For Ultra, Zeno didn't go down, so he can still protect Pedro. He's very happy if he could take the down here. More crows getting fired onto Pedro. Not
Muy bien esquivado por Pedro los tres cuervos. Y aquí Ultru se le está complicando la partida con lo fácil que la tenía al principio, ¿eh?
finding the target somehow. Very well played by Elysium.
Aquí cuervos aquí a la derecha, de superviviente no puede hacer nada, ¿vale? Si los pones aquí a la derecha no puede hacer nada superviviente. Bueno, irse por este coche, pero pones otros cuervos aquí y ya está, básicamente.
Survivor team
Que no te quieres complicar, un cuervo en el palito.
Pedro now also getting rid of the crows here, so that will take a little bit longer. However, dangerous
Claro,
is
está.
how close the crows are. Pedro has to rotate away from the pallet, and the only thing that is now remaining is this little edge map tile here. Is there Zeno? Is the
¿No se quedarán otro motor?
question. The answer is no. Survivors are
No tiene nada, ¿eh? Ruina no funciona, cogida nefasta tampoco.
using the time instead to prove some efficiency into the objectives here, and that's the third
Ruina no va a funcionar porque me refiero, no os van a soltar del generador, ¿vale?
generator completed in exchange for the execution here.
Muy bien reparado por el equipo de Elysium, si os fijáis han dejado dos motores aquí y dos motores allá, perfecto.
Good work also that the heal is already good to go onto Zeno, and if there's some gen progress on these three objectives, which there certainly will be since this is Elysium, they might
Si os fijáis, los motores de aquí están los dos al cero. Yo me iría ya directamente a la otra zona del mapa porque te van a hacer otro motor.
be good to go here. Ultra needs a little bit more in order to keep them under control.
Vale, muy inteligente aquí el Ace. Se lanza directamente al cuervo para que no le impacten. Es mucho mejor coger cuervos a que le impacten, ¿vale? Muchísimo mejor. Así que buena decisión por parte de Marco.
Absolutely, very well said, Dyer. They're definitely proving themselves right now. Just had to kind of throw that in there. You know, I gotta make the first dad joke before you get the opportunity to. But that being said, he is finding the chase onto Lamarco here, who was able to cleanse his birds rather quickly, finding himself at a nice little garbage tile to chase at. And man, Dyer, having a tunnel out already completed at 2 generators is pretty decent. But I mean, there was a lot of time wasted in these chases, so I think the Elysium is feeling pretty confident with how this match is going so far.
We're back into the midsection.
Ahí el addon por cuervos a los dos.
Here once again the support plays coming out. Wonderful to see that here, Oscar and Marco this time. So Zeno
No llega nada.
either lurking for a crazy play in the distance or casually sticking towards the generator. That's going to be Marco going down now. Oscar not around anymore, so hopefully taking care of the gens as well here. 4 of them have been completed. So basically you just need a little bit more, right? The end game is close. You will already feel great,
Fijaros el motor como está.
especially with this generator split that we have here. Grim will come in one last time, but that's not going to be too punishing until we have all 4 survivors getting hooked here. Ultra using the crows. Sometimes they can even function as an amazing detection tool, basically. If you are unsure, you can expect one survivor basically to be in the midsection, rotating over. Maybe you're lucky sometimes with the crow, and then you are able to sniff out a survivor and cause potentially a lot of chaos.
A lot of
¿Dónde está la clave tú?
chaos is definitely needed for Ultra here, because with 1 generator left and a
Ahí está, ahí está.
tunnel out and maybe 1 or 2 hooks in the match right now,
Está fallando muchos cuervos, ¿eh?
I think that Ultra needs to help to do a little bit more here. Nice snipe off in the distance onto Lamarco. That was very nicely played. And another snipe onto Zeno on the other side of the tractor. And, I mean, this is good because he can rest assured knowing
No puedes fallar esto. Esto no puedes fallarlo. O sea, esto es una cagada grande por parte del artista.
that... Oh, he just barely misses it, unfortunately. Very nice dodge coming in from Zeno here to make sure he doesn't get hit by the Dire Crows.
Bueno, ya se ha rendido, vale, ya obviamente, porque ahora esta chase no tiene ningún sentido, deberías irte a la zona del mapa para proteger el motor, vale, pues estos dos veces Oscar y Marco te lo están haciendo, pero bueno, que tener un tercer cuelgue y que se no tener 8 cuelgues enteros.
And going to opt to take this chase to the main building, or at least on the other side of it, around the hill, on the back side of the map, away from the other 2 generators on the other side of the map, which is really nice to see. That's some very good pathing from Xeno. He wants to make sure that his teammates are able to get on a generator and make some progress, because otherwise we don't get out and we don't get any
Muy mal, M1.
we don't get a good
Me veo un poquito frío este killer,
win condition. So it's very good from Xeno here to opt to go for this chase here.
Xeno also now with the responsibility of delivering a great end game play. He has the opportunity to make sure that ELYSIUM is not taking any additional stages. Oscar was working on the exit gate in the distance, has now dropped that. Yeah, we see the switch right there. Interesting to see that Marco is taking
No jodas.
over the exit gate, so Oscar can rotate back into the map, and he does come
Uf, el Oscar al pozo.
in time. That's going to be the injury onto
Pues porque el otro estaba también herido, que si no lo hacen aquí el trenecito.
Oscar, but unfortunately I think he was forced into taking the loop around this tile here, so we would need to see at least one reset. Currently Xeno taking the responsibility there, so Marco will
Tiene éxito bastante.
come back into
Que yo os digo, es casi imposible meterle éxito por ciento a un artista, pero bueno, ahí está.
the trial in a second and will get Oscar escorted here. Hopefully they actually go for a double heal, so Oscar must have called out there, I'm confident, I have the truck, I can waste some time, and they are already on 75% on that heal. They will be ready
Que bien vigila los spots, eh.
to go. Ultra not aggressively sticking either to the crows or just
Se van los tres, eh.
catch
Por haber fallado este cuervo.
catching up to the survivor. Now 2 of them will be healthy. Rob, that was a little bit too much time that the killer gave towards the survivor team. Now they will all be out. Fantastic play from ELYSIUM.
Muy bien jugado.
Yes, their coordination is honestly. Oh wait, that's a. Oh wait, can they heal tech? Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. That's really good. Yeah, they're heal teching with the very exit gate right now, making sure that the most amount of time is bought for their teammate to be able to crawl out of the exit gate. But what? This. Oh,
No, dale al M1, loquete. Ah, no, creo no puede. Claro, no puede.
oh wait a second. Wait the flash.
¡Uy, Dios mío! ¡Dios mío! Claro, no puede porque se tiene que quitar los cuervos, creo.
Making
Vamos.
sure that the most.
A ver, déjame ver la animación un segundo. Pero creo que no puede curar.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. That's really good.
Ah, no, sí que puede curar porque aquí está teniendo los cuervos, pero está curando.
Yeah, they're heal teching with the very exit gate right now, making sure that the most amount of time is bought for their teammate to be able to crawl out of the exit gate. But what? This.
¿Por qué no lo ha curado?
Oh, wait a second. Wait the flashbang.
No sé cómo ha fallado los petardos. O sea, no sé cómo se han fallado, sinceramente. Yo pensé que se los comía enteros. Pero porque no lo ha curado, tenía que seguir curándole y se escapaban todos. Pues aquí, error de Oscar, ¿eh?
Oh, it was just barely too late.
Nah.
Oh no. That was so clutch for Ultra. Wow. That is so unfortunate for
Pues 6 cuelgues. 6 cuelgues. O
ELYSIUM.
sea,
They had a really good win condition, and it's still.
For end game.
bastante mala partida, la verdad. 6 cuelgues con artista es mala partida. Vale, las cosas como son. Así que vamos para la siguiente. Bueno, perfecto. Obi. Pam, killer de ilusión.
Obi himself is on the artist, and we
Ultra, Onesie, Lasty y Angel es de supervivientes.
are joined by Ultra, Rock,
Yo solo conozco a Angel. Es el único, los otros tres no me suenan así de primeras.
and the Quentin. As always, it's so nice to see a Quentin played in DBD League. So, and we have Wancy, Lusty, and Angels in on Survivor as well. And it looks like Obi is scouting around trying to find someone.
Ay, perdón, en fin, es que estoy pensando en el café y se me da la marrana. Intención corrupta, flash de agitación, nah, unos press excelentes, sobre todo agitación en este mapa para poder tú colgar donde te salgan los cojones, en plan, y controlar motores a la perfección. Y lo diré. Joder. Bueno, la pérdida esta que te hace que cuando pegas un M1, 5% de velocidad durante, creo que eran 10 segundos o por ahí. Se me ha olvidado, tío. Soy retraso mental, chavales. Me sé lo que hacen las perks, pero no me acuerdo del nombre a veces. Y nada, muy buena perk para artista, porque yo digo, artista por lo general pega más M1 que cuervos, ¿vale? Sobre todo en este alto nivel no se dejan pegar cuervos. Aunque es en snipes y tal, es muy raro que se dejan pegar los cuervos. Normalmente se dejan pegar más los M1, ¿vale?
For this first chase. Now,
Más que nada porque es mejor que te den un M1 artista que te dé con los cuervos, ¿vale? Porque la animación de recuperación es mucho mayor con el M1.
not really finding too much of
Y de
anything.
addons, bueno, cuatro cuervos y las manos para que los cuervos se dividan cuando están los suplentes cercanos entre ellos.
Also opting to head back to the mid-map bottleneck area section and finding a chase onto somebody. I didn't see who it was exactly. I think that's Ultra actually. And he's taking this chase over to the main building, far, far away.
Muy buenos cuervos.
And yeah, that's gonna be an interesting choice as this is where the non-corrupted generators are at. So the
Por cierto, no sé si habéis jugado de Killer últimamente, pero ahora los ganchos como Killer te aparecen. O sea, me parece un poco... no sé si es un bug o es una ayuda al Killer. Yo diría que es un bug, porque no tiene sentido que a ti como Killer te digan los cuelgues que tiene cada superviviente, ¿no? Que en plan te lo ponen fácil para saber a quién tienes para matar, a quién no, tal, no sé qué. Antes había que recordarlo. En plan, pues mira, a este todavía no le he colgado, a este le he colgado una vez, a este le he colgado dos. ¿Sabes? Ahora te lo ponen muy fácil. Yo creo que es un bug, pero no lo sé, es un poco raro.
gens are getting interrupted here by Obi, which is really nice for him, but really bad for Team
Ahí tienes el 5%, ¿vale?
CYNIC Dire.
Yeah, they are in a dire situation with the
Se va a la zona de interrupción corrupta, muy bien hecho, ¿vale?
dire
Si sus compañeros ponen para el otro lado perfectamente.
pros basically. So let's see if they can perform ultra well or if they maybe need the help of some angels to be successful here. It is definitely a good chase. The corrupt intervention is almost gone by itself, which is always a good sign for the survivor team here. Obi trying with the double, triple crow to get the survivor down, but we
Perfecto, muy bien jugado aquí.
instead taking the window. Unfortunately, that's
¿Habéis visto la diferencia entre Obi en esta estructura que es más fuerte que en la que estaba el señor Ultra en la otra de los pasillos, ya que solamente no se ha podido escapar? Pues veis la diferencia de juego.
not enough time for a double vault here, but doing a very good job. So making sure that we are making not only the first down, but also an entry into the stats, because that is the 32nd character this season with the Quentin coming out from Ultra there.
Which is nice to see because who else is going to play Quentin other than Ultra? So really nice to see him finally coming back into DBD League, and also that
Aquí Ángel se ha formado un porro gigantesco. ¿No ves que tienes al artista al lado? Esto es hit automático.
down came in at 1 minute and 39 seconds, which was
Encima va a lupear en la misma zona que el gancho. Problema grande.
a good amount of time slower than the first down of the last match, but mind you, he was also in the non-corrupted area, so all those gens were not really getting very much pressure. He
M1, lanza un M1 por delante. A ver si lo hace. Aquí tienes que lanzar M1 delante. Creo que no llega, porque él va a pegar el sprint y va con celeridad.
does cut off.
¿Ves? Lo he intentado, Yo, o sea, para no pedirle la cabeza a esta gente. Aquí es meter el M1 antes, sin darle, ¿vale? Es importante sin golpearle, para hacerle body block. Y entonces se le coma el tiempo prestado.
Ultra here. Oh, he does not actually. Oh, that's really interesting. But yes, he's taking the chase over to Shaq here. Ultra is first hooked, and now I think that Obi is going to want to get this to a second hook rather quickly. And nice tag onto the Dire Crows here. Also, I just wanted to point out that I made one singular dad joke, and then Dire
Muy buena, brutal, Obi.
said, "Okay, all right, you want to take the first one? Nice down onto Ultra. Very nice to see."
Vale, lo tiene en la espalda, no puede meter el linterna.
And so Dyer said, "Okay, I'll just make 3 in a row. I got you, buddy. I'm better than you at dad jokes." So
Reparando herido en la misma zona. Esta partida tienes un huele ya jodido.
that's great. I love casting with you, Dyer. Nothing is intended by me saying that. But yes, we get a tag onto this generator here. I want to point out the build, by the way, Dyer. We're running Rapid Brutality, which has become a little bit
Brutalidad veloz o algo así, veloz se llama, algo así, no me
of a
acuerdo.
staple perk on the artist. Not sure if I really agree with this perk entirely, but we do see it quite a bit more often than recently.
It is gaining a little bit of popularity for sure, and it's great to see whenever players are coming out a little bit with a new strategy, right, with a new idea for their play here. So far, especially the trial going pretty much exactly the same, right? If I would use perk language, I would say I have a deja vu from the previous trial, because Ultra now in the second stage here, Vancy, Lusty, Angels, not October, we have one injury right there, and it's now the question again. Do you want to save? Do you potentially sacrifice this survivor in order to get some generator progress in? Or are we going for some sacrifices? And then you need to make sure, if you rescue Ultra here, you want to make sure that he's also being protected. You don't want him to run 50 meters and then instantly falling.
Ojo, le ha dado.
Oh.
Y Ultra muerto.
Oh, no. Yo, that actually hits! I was curious there because we have seen Lusty around the shack earlier.
No, por poco, por poco.
And that's actually going to be the hit right there. What a shot from Obi. Rob, what do you think about this decision? Letting Ultra die? To me, it feels a
Muy bien, Lusty aquí esquivando eso.
little bit early.
I think that means that CYNIC is cranking some generators right now, and they find that having Obi sit and wait around without patrolling the generators means that they are sitting on gens as he was
Lusty se está moviendo muy bien.
camping out Ultra. So I hope that that's exactly what was happening, because if not, then they are going to be in a serious issue here. But we are finding the chase onto Lusty now, who is finally taking an M1 and injure after a good amount of time chasing. And there goes one generator. So they are definitely working towards that goal. But whether or not they can complete it after letting this go down to a 3v1 voluntarily, I'm not too sure.
Brutal, nah, perfecto.
Very nice tag with the Dire Crows through the main building. That was a very good down. Is this a pain residence? It is.
Y también muy bien el señor Lusty, que ha caído en la zona del mapa donde debería caer para que los compañeros o le rescaten en plan muy tranquilamente, o si decide campear, le hacen los motores del otro lado. Así que aquí Lusty, brutal, le ha llevado de un lado del mapa al otro. Muy bien.
Look at that. That's some really good slowdown onto CYNIC's gen progress, Dire.
That is indeed. That was very important here. And it is, I think, double punishing. You just lost a survivor. I mean, CYNIC obviously choosing a different strategy here than ELYSIUM. We have seen ELYSIUM being way more altruistic in the previous trial, and the survivors of CYNIC are more focusing the generators. And if you let Ultra die in exchange for generator progress, then a setback due to the pain resonance is more punishing, because it's basically a direct counterplay to the
Muy bien, ahí. Se la ha jugado un M1, pero bien.
strategy that you just chose.
Los descartistas normalmente van más a M1 que con los cuervos.
Here. Angels, not entirely sure
En un nivel alto, no sé, obviamente.
if he wanted to go for the stun there. Does take the hit, running towards the shack now. That would also not be a great position to die in, by the way, Rob. We have one generator right, one left of shack, one inside here. If we go down, that's going to be the classic nasty hook inside a 3-gen that you really want to avoid.
Brutal. Si os habéis fijado lo que os dije, hay que buscarse un poquito la vida aquí, en plan.
Entirely sure
Van al sac, perfecto.
if you wanted to go for the stun there.
O sea, lo que os dije en el pasillo, de que hay que meter un cuerpo por un lado, otro por otro, intentar una jugada un poquito diferente, no ser tan. Lo diré, tan. Joder. Bueno, que te prediga, ¿vale?
Does
Que no sé hablar en castellano, es una mierda.
take the hit, running towards the shack now.
Veis su cuervo ahí para que no pueda salir por la izquierda.
That would also not be a great position to
Vale,
die
otro cuervo a la ventana, perfecto.
in, by the
Tu suplente lo tienes aquí localizado, bien.
way, Rob. We have one
Y
generator
dices, vale, lo tengo ahí, voy a hacer como que voy para la derecha para que dude y luego pum, salta a la ventana.
right, one left of
¿Veis? Y se quedó parado, nada, medio
shack,
segundo.
one inside
Suficiente.
here. If we go down, that's going to be
Muy bien, si lo
the
respetados.
classic nasty hook
Y
inside.
aquí ya está, apuntas aquí y si el suplente hubiese esquivado y luego metes a la izquierda hubiese sido brutal, pero es muy difícil hacer eso.
A 3-gen that you really want to avoid by all
El suplente pensaba que llevaba el palet, pero no. Los cuervos tienen un poquito más hitbox del que parece.
costs.
Whoa! Wow, I'm so surprised that.
Predecible, que no me salía la palabra. Ser predecible. Ser predecible en este juego te mata, tanto como killer como superviviente, ¿eh? Pero esto como killers. Si te predicen como killer, estás más muerto que muertín.
Hit Dire, that was a nasty Dire Crow hit right there. And he's going to opt to take him over to the outside of the shack. this is a pain resonance. I'm pretty sure it
Qué raro que se coman un gancho flagelante, suelen esquivarlo.
is because Tori screamed, Lusty screamed on the generator. So that was definitely a pain resonance. Some nice gen regression coming in. And yeah, this is looking like it's going to be it's looking like it's going to be in ELYSIUM
Guau, pillado la Claudia, qué fe, chaval. Y la está robando en otra esquina.
favor here because Obi's putting a lot of pressure out onto this set. I mean, 3v1 pretty early.
Yo creo que se hace a la izquierda más bien.
Almost at 3 gens left, I believe the 3v1
Se va a quedar aquí.
was started. And I mean, Angels
Dios, qué pedazo de galleta.
on the hook right now. Another really
Brutal, eso es todo difícil, eh.
nasty Dire Crow hit. And wow, that was incredibly played by Obi. He is cooking on the artist right now, Dire.
Madre mía, lo vi, chaval. Va.
He is cooking indeed.
Y le da otra vez tú. Hola.
Oh, yo! This is what we
Es el problema de este mapa, hay muchas taquillas. Es muy fácil quitarse los cuervos.
need now, Rob. This is what we need after a few unfortunate decisions already, or
Pues esta herida hace que Ángel muera, ¿vale? No van a poder rescatarlo.
not decisions, but like events on
Porque están los dos a favor del mapa y por aquí no puede pasar ni
the
Dios.
survivor team. If we now hit these snipes, we might even be this CYNIC 4K going to take outs here. They have a stage in the 3 gen. He's holding the choke point. He's even keeping them busy with
Ángel la lleva a son stage.
the crows here. Lusty again. This has 4K potential, Rob.
Llega a dar eso y me corro literalmente.
Yeah, I mean, he's holding this bottleneck really, really well. And he knows where both survivors are.
Por poco.
I mean, they got another generator done, but at what cost? Angels is going to die on the hook. Obi can camp this pretty freely. There's no generators on this side of the map. He is holding the choke. Well, this is likely going to be a 4K Dire. He is doing an incredible job of making sure that no one passes. And if they do, they're going down because not only is he holding the choke point, but both survivors are injured, Dire. That is really bad right now for Team CYNIC. And we did talk about comebacks being their strong suit, but I mean, what can you do about this? This is extremely difficult. So, I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it looks like Lusty is coming around for the save. He's rotating to get the save, but
¿Cómo lo ha dado, tío? Hostias. Era difícil este hit, ¿eh? O sea, ya sabéis que podéis dar la vuelta con el hit para pegar al tentaras, pero este estaba un poco lejos, ¿no?
what
Voy a ver otra vez porque me quedaba un poco anonadado,
can you
tío.
do about this? This is extremely difficult. So, I mean, yes, it looks like Lusty is coming around for the save. He's rotating to get the save.
O sea, fijaros dónde lanza el 7. Ah, es porque la NEA se mueve hacia la derecha. La NEA se mueve hacia la derecha y si te fijas aquí está la cabeza de Lusty. Por su lado, ¿eh?
But,
Pero creo que es por error de la NEA, ¿eh? La NEA se mueve a la derecha y la ha dejado al compañero.
oh man, this is looking extremely dire. No pun intended. This is looking pretty bad. So that's the second hook coming in onto Lusty. Angels is making some distance, but he is dead on hook. So I mean, to make anything happen from this, CYNIC
Tío, las da todas, estas son muy difíciles, ¿eh? Porque las tiras sin visión.
really.
No sé por qué deja, pues no les ruguea, yo les rugaría, pero bueno.
Wow, what an incredible hit through the window right there. Oh my goodness, Obi. Whatever he's
Ah, porque muere, vale, porque muere.
cooking, I don't know what it is, but I think Gordon Ramsay's gonna invite him to his personal restaurant because that was nuts. Wancy's working the last generator, getting it finished, but I mean,
Lo hace. Creo que lo hace.
outside of this, what else do you have? He doesn't
Ah, pues no, todavía va un par de segundos, un segundo y medio.
even finish it. That's a 4K
¿Por qué poco, eh?
at 1 generators remaining, Dire. Wow, what a performance from Obi.
Pues habla.
That is an insane.
4K y no han hecho el último motor de puto milagro, pero vamos, muy bien, es muy buena partida de Obi. Para mí Ángel ha jugado bastante regulín, las cosas como son. Ultru, estamos un poco tal. Wazi y Lusty no lo han hecho bien, pero no son suficientes. No son suficientes, aquí tiene que jugar todo el mundo bien, o si no te vas para ello. Y Obi, nada, brutal. Mucha diferencia contra el anterior de artista. El anterior artista no me parecía bueno, sinceramente. El señor Ultru no me pareció una buena artista. Era un jugador. Seguramente destaque con 2 kills, ¿vale? Por el artista no le he visto puntero, la verdad, sinceramente. Pero hoy le he visto muy bien con el artista, muy bien. Se nota la habilidad, o sea, se nota la lengua, pero bueno. Así que nada, vamos a la siguiente partidita. Vamos a ver quién juega por aquí. ¡Pam! Creo que es payaso ahora.
Incredible here, and we have seen them do something incredible before. That being
Vale, Seno con el payaso. Buah, nos va a arrasar. Vale, va con el abrazo del dragón. Ya sabéis que es muy fuerte esta per con el payaso porque pega una patada a un motor. Esa persona es one shot, se puede one-shotear durante un minuto entero. Parece no, pero es mucho tiempo. Carnicero, chapucero, muy buena, gancho flagelante y erupción. Unas perks para garantizar la curación, 2 para motores, ya está, que te da un poder de chase muy fuerte. Y de botella, recordad que este es el payaso de hace 4 meses, ¿vale? No es el que da asco con las botellas amarillas, ¿vale? Es el que da asco con las botellas moradas, ¿vale? Y nada, va a llevar la botella morada, que es para tener más velocidad con las botellas amarillas. Y el lado en este azul para tener más finalización con las botellas moradas. Así que va muy bien conjuntado.
said, we are loading in. We have Xeno on the
Si os fijáis es un 13, ¿vale? Normalmente es un 10% de velocidad, ¿vale?
clown, the Jeffrey Chase himself.
Bueno,
Finding a chase onto Ultra very early, getting a tag through the stun. Wow.
pues se la ha jugado, Quería meterle la edición para que no pudiese salir tan rápido corriendo, pero se la ha jugado.
I mean, it's not often we see clowns
Muy rápido el primer hit,
sets, so that was pretty incredible, all things considered. And
Madre mía, cuando duró la chase, tío, ha durado creo que 8 segundos. Un segundo es que necesito verla. O un poquito más.
we have seen them do something incredible before. That
Ah.
being said, we are loading in. We have Xeno on the clown,
O menos, creo, de 8 segundos.
on the Jeffrey Chase
Vale, aquí, 42.
himself. Finding a chase onto Ultra very early, getting a tag through the stun. Wow. I mean, it's not often we see clown sets, so that was pretty incredible, all things considered.
Ah, pues no, pero 13 segundos, tío. Hola, 13 segundos, ni que pues esto es una enfermera. A ver, payasos tiene ese, persecución de Space tiene ese, pero hostia, 13 segundos, muy mal jugado por Ultra, la verdad.
And yep, that's a down. I knew it. As soon as we saw the medium vault, that was a down onto Ultra. Rather fast, if you ask me,
Madre mía, como la están liando muchísimo.
Geyer. Oh, Angel's coming in for
Muy bien imaginado por Seno, están los frentes muy juntos. Es normal que alguien haga UC con linterna petados para intentar el descuelo.
I think
O sea, la salvada.
he was looking for a flashlight save, maybe. But yeah, not happening today, unfortunately. So that was a rather quick down onto Ultra Dire.
Tenía petados.
That was very good for the clown indeed, especially as an M1 killer. Like, yeah, you can slow down the survivors, but you very often have to deal against a lot of pallets. You get body blocks taken against you and so on. So this was a very good start into the game here. Unfortunately, Ultra again, after we had the first down and the elimination tunnel out onto Ultra in the previous trial, it seems like that it's kind of Ultra's faith now that Xeno wants to benefit of him as well. Angel's taking an injury here, also feels a little bit early, and now Xeno with the yellow bottle getting a little bit of sprint burst, zooming.
Si escucháis martillazos, ya sabéis que es el vecino que está de obras aquí, va a estar de obras 4 años, madre mía.
Back towards the survivor, realizing that no one is rotating in yet, so immediately switching back again to just scouting the area, now checking over at the fun bus here, really
Hay que meter a agarrar el dragón, ¿vale?
like this play from Xeno. It is actually also, yeah, the fastest down this season on the clown. These 22 seconds, an incredible first chase that we have seen here. And that's going to be punishing, right? Because we see very wonderfully how even on a wrecker's yard, Xeno can
La ventana, no va a dejar la ventana
play
salir.
the map to his advantage. He has
¿Por qué? No hay palet. Allí de enfrente hay un palet.
here deep in the pocket, so it's extremely difficult for the survivor
Muy bien aquí, Ultra.
to make it out of here. You have such a long distance towards the pallet,
Tiene agilidad,
and
menos
after
mal.
this filler pallet here is dropped soon, there's no escape anymore from here. The life saving Ultra a little bit, but doesn't do too much of work because the bottle really slowed him down there. That's going to be a very important run here, Rob. We can see the 3 survivors working on the generators in the distance. Hopefully Ultra
Ha hecho lo de la botella y M1, pero no, aquí muy bien Ultra.
stands a little bit longer. Oh, nice fake attempt.
I really hope so, because they need to make an insane comeback. And while they are
Muy bien Ultra.
capable of it, there is so much pressure in their on their team right now, because this is a
Es que lo juega muy bien el Seno, tío. El Seno es muy bueno, hijo de puta. Esa... Es que mirar como un Jungle Gym con palet tirado, Jungle Gym palet tirado te puede dar el hit, Lo ha
And
hecho
while
brutal, si os fijáis.
they
Mira,
are
o sea,
capable of it, there is so much pressure
botella morada.
in their on their
Y ha tirado otra botella,
team right now because this is a
Si os fijáis, va marcha atrás, saltar y justo M1 hace el pared y después no se lo espera. Porque si saltas y desaparece por aquí te da, ¿vale? Es muy seguro saltar el pared.
Oh! Zeno, that was a nasty hit right there. Very well played. And yes, in that 22-second down, I mean, going forward, when they ask
Pues a la ultra segundo de los stage.
the history of DBD League, they're gonna say, well, what was the fastest down of let's say season 10? 22 seconds. You think it was maybe like a Blight, Dracula, Spirit, Nurse, Ghoul? Nope, it was Clown. And that's because his 1v1 potential is very strong. And I mean, you gotta hand it to him. His 1v1 is incredible. Very nice slow ball coming in from Wancy there. That was incredible. That really definitely caught Zeno off guard there. So now the plan, the goal going forward for Zeno, I imagine, is either to camp Ultra out or get him down as quick as possible off this next unhook. But I think he's going to want to opt to stay by the hook and catch anyone rotating for a save in order to prevent any unhook from coming in, because Wancy is definitely coming in to rotate for the save. So generators are getting completed. Oh, Zeno sung a little tiny bit early. I think he was expecting Wancy to still be hindered from the after-piece tonic. But yeah, he does get away from that pretty well. I think CYNIC's going to want to save this, honestly, because that was their downfall last time, Dire. Oh, the plot twist.
Ha tirado Ángela solo.
I think that was
luckily, luckily we decide for the team play approach, right? I think that is a lot stronger here.
Adiós.
And since
Qué asco da, tío, el payaso. Da mucho asco.
Angels is going for the... I don't think that is enough time. I was just about to mention it. Basically, in the background, there was a timer ticking, like a countdown that Zeno can spend in this chase. And then, in case there was the chase long enough from Ultra, then plot twist would have been amazing, because Angels wouldn't have needed someone who's coming over and healing him. Like this, unfortunately, it didn't work out at all. Angels is on the hook now. Ultra is on the second stage. They are close together as well. Vancy has to rotate back, and we have just seen...
Muy buena. Aquí error de la Nancy, ¿vale? Error ponerse en este lado. Yo por supuesto en el lado contrario para no hacer el botellazo. Creo que lo dije, no me acuerdo si en el anterior partido de la DBDLEAGUE como payaso, no me acuerdo o hace dos vídeos de la DBDLEAGUE, pero el payaso puede joderte el descuelgue si te pega la botella directamente. Para eso hay que ponerse en otro lado. Aquí, error grave de One Piece.
The yellow bottle this time, though, it is going to be the down because Zeno
Y muy buen lanzamiento de botella. De ese, obviamente. Muy bueno por encima de la pared.
interrupts it. No calm spirit on that survivor.
Está ahí, Está ahí. Está por aquí detrás, creo. Está justo aquí detrás.
Calm spirit can guarantee the unhook because you're not screaming
Vale, acaba de gritar. Ya está.
when being affected from the bottle, but here clean hit even into the bag. And Lusty, I think, yeah, being located as well. Rob, we are looking towards another 4K potentially against the Clown. That is not CYNIC's day so far.
Yeah, no, it's really not. This is looking pretty difficult. Nice use of the speed there from the yellow bottle, but the hit is still going to come in, I imagine. But he's going to try to actually interrupt this hit here.
Muy bien aquí, si os fijáis, muy bien Wancy se ha puesto justo ahí, porque claro, Lasty viene y el payaso no puede rodearle, no puede pegar a Wancy que va a salir del suelo, se pone justo en el sitio apropiado. Lasty le cura y ahora le va a respetar a Ángel, ¿vale? Wancy va a caer, obviamente, pero bueno, se puede largar la partida un poquitito más.
No, that was such a good play there from...
Muy bien aquí jugado por Wancy y Lasty, ¿vale? Muy bien jugado.
Team CYNIC coordinating that rescue right there. That was really nice to see. That could have gone really south. So props to CYNIC for coordinating that really important rescue. That being said, Zeno has...
Una partida que ya estaba perdida porque había solo uno vivo. Pues mira, 3 vivos. De repente, por hacer las cosas bien. Muy bien.
So much pressure right now. It is insane. As Clown, by the way, his 4v1 is not that good. But, I mean, with this I might have to rescind that thought right there. I think Clown's 4v1 is a little bit better. But that being said, we were in the 3v1, so maybe that's why. Maybe I'm just not doing my math very well, Dyer, today. So, but yeah, I really like that you pointed out the Calm Spirit use to get the first unhook, because the bottle should have interrupted that. But since Calm Spirit prevents you from screaming, that was actually able to guarantee the unhook without any issues. And we saw the flip side of that with Wancy trying to get the unhook, but the bottle interrupted him from getting that unhook. So that was really well played, really good use of perks there. We love to point that kind of thing out. So that being said, we do have Wancy now on the hook, and it looks like Angels is trying to pressure the...
Claro, quiere que Wancy llegue al segundo stage. O sea, quiere que Wancy llegue al segundo stage, porque así al siguiente ya muere y jugando contra dos clientes, un motor, lo normal que tienes la victoria, ¿vale?
Save, but why they would do this while injured, I don't really know. I think they should opt to reset and leave Xeno here to camp for a little bit longer and maybe make some generator progress happen in the meantime, if possible.
No creo que puedan rescatar, no lo creo. Tendrían que resetearse uno de ellos al menos.
And we're trying to find the balance here between the survivor at the truck and at the shack, but unfortunately that doesn't really look like Xeno being in a difficult situation. It more looks like these survivors are trying to bait, and it didn't work. Wancy is going into the second stage here. Now Xeno commits to one of these survivors, to Lusty on the edge of the map. Eruption kicking in, good coordinated and well-timed unhook. However, that's going to be the speed burst for Xeno. Following up on these survivors here, we're entering the slug play stage basically, where CYNIC will be busy with resetting each other, picking each other up, traveling across the map, and now we have seen basically Wancy has rotated towards the other side there.
Pues ahora sí que sí creo que ya sí.
And yeah, I think even the CYNIC fans will realize now that this is not looking good.
Yeah, and Wancy is injured already, so this down is going to mark the end of Team CYNIC's survivor side for the clown set. And oh, just barely got the blind even though she screamed.
Vale. Se dirige por el oído y ya está. Y sí, pues ya está. Muy bien por Seno, 4K. Yo os digo, es un killer tiene en persecución, y si lo hace bien dentro de la partida y se quedan otros puntitos en este mapa, puede hacer una buena partida. Ya lo tenéis. Muy bien, muy bien. Y se ha protegido poco. Para mí este killer hay que abusar al principio de la partida. En plan, esto tiene que empezar 8.0 y con eso te jode la verdad los bodies y tal. Pero hay que joder al principio. En plan, ayudar en las persecuciones, metiendo el cuerpo con el body block. Y gracias a eso intentar que haga los menos juegos posibles. Pero no se ha hecho y nada. Así que nada. 7 partidas para Yasuko. Ultra, otra vez.
Welcome back everybody from that
mismas perks y mismos addons.
Short break. We are loading into trial number 4 with CYNIC on the clown. We have Ultra here, who is tasked with a very tall order here. He needs to get a 4K at 2 generators remaining.
Muy bien, yendo por fuera del site.
Otherwise, this will be the
ahora es Palette, 100%.
Second set point going to Team ELYSIUM.
¿Qué huevos tienen?
Dyer, I just know that Ultra is going to be very pressured this match, but I hope that he stays calm and collected.
Claro, no llegaba, es que no sé, yo digo, no llega, y con el Blue Last ya va a pillar Blue Last, no llega.
And is able to make
lo ha calculado un poquito mal aquí,
the most out of what he can, because they need a strong comeback. Now we see a first hit going in onto Xeno, and he's going to opt to go check the fun plus here. And I just want to talk about the build that has been brought for Ultra's Clown. And that is Pain Resonance,
Smart.
Eruption, Cut.
Me imagino que ha hecho esto para irse a una zona mejor, para sacar una zona mejor, porque si no tiene sentido este hit que acaba de regalar.
Corrupt Intervention, and then we see Dragon's Grip again. It's becoming a pretty popular perk on many killers, so I'm quite curious about what the thought process is there.
It is very interesting that it's getting picked so often, because I still don't see the advantage so often yet that it would be a reason to pick, but maybe Ultra has something in mind there. One thing I want to point out real quick is how smart Marco played the first chase here. When he realized that Ultra is dropping the yellow bottle on the side of the loop, and the purple bottle was already affecting him, slowing him down. He realized if he's now taking the hit behind the pallet on the outside, basically, it's going to be the injury, and he's going to have a hard time making it back into the trial, especially with Ultra taking the speed burst. So what Marco did there was voluntarily vaulting into the killer to take the M1, but then with the classic sprint burst, without hindered, without Ultra having the speed, making it into the midsection, and he actually made it cross map, wasting some time. That was a phenomenal strategy from Marcos here. Very well done.
I just want to say this is the point where Dyer and I switch roles, because now he's doing the color casting and analyzing all of the important plays, and I'm the one making jokes. So yes, you see what happened is that Marco took the opportunity to see that
muy mal aquí la protección, muy mal.
He was in a bit of a pickle here, so he opted to cucumber his way out of there and vault the pallet. So very well done. But yeah,
es que lo que hay que hacer contra Payaso, bueno, es lo único que se puede hacer contra Payaso, en plan, hacer body blocks y proteger al compañero. O sea, el loopear es muy jodido.
He's going to take his second hook now onto Marco. He did get the down rather quickly, but that first down was a little tiny bit slower, just a little tad. It was a minute and 24 seconds, so yeah.
Si hacen todos los motores ganan, eso es sencillo.
It's going to be a little bit of a difficult
Aunque luego moran todos.
situation for Ultra to make too much happen with this, but we got to still root for CYNIC. They are a strong team. They do have good coordination. They do have experienced players, so maybe they can pull something out here. Nice snipe with the bottle. But at the same time, Dyer, this is a
favor de sangre o el Oscar, o sea, con el favor de sangre, perdón, el agarre del dragón.
a very strong
Pero ahora le interesa ir a por Marco y quitarse encima.
result so far for
Y hace bien.
ELYSIUM's clown match, and Ultra meeting that and even beating that is going to be very difficult. Nicely done from Xeno here, being ready to drop the pallet onto Ultra's head just to prevent him from being able to capitalize on this down too quickly. Also, the body block, very nice to see. He is
Muy bien, Xeno ahora protegiendo, muy bien.
blocking
Yeah, this is
Marco. Yep, he is doing a great job.
This is what we talked about in the break when we talked about the win condition. Remember where we said when you play for win condition only, you don't need to worry about who you're throwing between the killer and your tunnel survivor. In a normal match, you need to keep track of your fresh hooks.
Brutal.
You need to make sure that you're not
El Payaso se nota que tiene más mecánicas con el artista. Yo lo dije, será un buen killer, pero el artista no estaba jugando.
handing out 3 stages for free. ELYSIUM doesn't need to care in this match because Xeno got a 4K1, so they can throw fresh hook after fresh hook after fresh hook into the side of the killer. Yeah, Marco is getting down now, but it costed a lot of time, and as soon as someone is now getting into chase, they can sacrifice themselves, they can take injuries, and they
Vale, agarra el dragón en ese
do
motor.
not need to worry too much. The only thing they need to prevent is a slug play here that can be dangerous because we see the generators being basically in one half
Ha gritado una de las dos chicas, creo que eso es el hype, pero vamos, herido no pasa.
of the wrecker's yard, and if you're being a little bit too greedy, one unexpected down here, then a yellow bottle with a speed burst, and out of nowhere the clown is behind you. They need to be careful here because sometimes we see the teams getting a little bit ahead of themselves. Here we can see though that this danger is not on ELYSIUM yet. They have left very early, taking
Muy buena caída, pero la botella ha sido inmejorable, así que
it over here to the fun bus all the way across the map.
muy buena botella, la caída era muy buena, pero la botella ha sido Dios.
Ultra trying to go for the swing, does get it. Silhey going down here in the pallet, but we're far away from the active generators, so that's going to be at least a good amount of extra progress into the objectives here. We might even see
Gancho francamente usado.
Xeno getting healed in order to keep it safe and secure. But now you also have 2 minutes of hang time, and ELYSIUM technically is in a position where they can just take these 2 minutes, let Silhey die. So the pressure and the next move is needed from Ultra.
Oh, that is a... Okay, very well done to ELYSIUM for getting the... Oh,
Hostia puta, tío, cómo le pararon de ELYSIUM, qué locura, tío.
they get it!
Crazy.
Get all 5 generators!
Well
Wow!
¿Cuánto dura la partida? 5:36, ya nada. 5 minutos y medio. Ha empezado en el 5:30-40, ¿vale? Sí, 5 minutos y medio. Joder, los de ELYSIUM, ¿cómo reparan tú?
Oh, well played from ELYSIUM. They just took the
Brutal.
second set point right
O sea, el payaso juega bien mecánicamente, pero es que, madre mía, los motores los han explotado.
out from underneath Ultra. That is really
Bueno, ya han ganado, vale.
unfortunate,
Aunque mate a todos ahora.
but very well played to Team ELYSIUM. We do have one more set, and CYNIC needs to do something, otherwise that is going to be the loss for them. But if they can win the next set, we'll go into the tiebreaker, and we'll see what happens from there. But right now, wow, very well done to ELYSIUM. They have absolutely
Basically,
2 matches.
made it
Nice,
easy,
Ernesto.
easy to continue. There is some
Pues a las 6 pulguecitos. Se he hecho 6 con artista y con payaso. 6 pulgas nada más.
streak against the
a ver.
dredge because we
Ah, no, has hecho 7. 3 de Marco, 1 de Silhei y 3 de Seno. 7. Un cuelgue más. Pero os digo, joder, 5 minutos y medio. O sea, hola con los motores, tío. Los han triturado. O sea, impresionante el equipo de ELYSIUM cuando te arrasan tanto los motores. Y claro, el problema del payaso tiene solo un problema: control de motores. Es el único problema que tiene, porque en persecución literalmente tiene ese. Así que nada, muy bien explotada esa desventaja del payaso. Y nada, los supervivientes de 10 tampoco han hecho chase muy buenas. De hecho, no han hecho unos bodyblocks que digamos en otro mundo. Ultra juega bien mecánicamente, pero vamos, no le han dado tregua, literalmente. Así que nada, antes de empezar la siguiente partida, que es Draga, si no recuerdo mal, ¿vale? Aquí está. Me voy con un pequeño descanso, vosotros no vais a notar nada, vosotros vais a notar así un pap y vuelta. Así que nada, ahora vuelvo, chicos, hasta ahora. Bien, chavales, ya estamos de vuelta. Para vosotros habrá pasado nada, medio segundo, pero para mí han pasado horas. Que he tenido lío al final entre gimnasio y historias. Así que continuamos con la siguiente partida, que viene siendo Draguita. Vamos para allá.
We do know that
De momento, 2-0 para ELYSIUM.
Ultra does play Dredge. We know he plays him, so we are excited to see what he's going to cook with this.
Ya sabéis que en este mapa es un mapa fuerte para Draga porque hay muchísimos armarios, un mapa chiquitito. Lo malo es que tiene 2 pisos, pero para Draga no es un problema, ya que se va a los armarios de piso a piso y sin ningún problema. La nocturnidad va a ser de terror, puede alguna sorpresa a los supervivientes. Y si tiene 3 gemelos juntitos, cuidado que puede molestar. Va con carnicero chapucero. Qué raro que no lleve el addon de la calavera, porque carnicero chapucero hacen una conjunción muy buena. Este addon es para meter 20 segundos más de nocturnidad, un addon muy bueno. Yo lo utilizo, para mí es de los mejores. Y una interrupción corrupta, acogida nefasta, el carnicero y la erupción. Buen conjunto de pers, la verdad. Y nada, no creo que se haga 4K, ¿vale? No creo, pero seguramente se haga bastantes juegos. A ver qué tal lo hace el señor Ultru, que con artista no me gustó, sinceramente. Con el payaso lo jugó bien, aunque lo arrasaron en tema de generadores, y a ver contra qué tal lo hace.
With this match, but we also know that Obi is a monster on the Dredge, so we need
Ya sabéis que a estas alturas la Dragon ya estaba bufada, ¿vale?
to hope that Ultra is able to put out a better performance on this, and I like this idea of Ultra hopping into the locker in order to farm some early nightfall. That is a very good idea. I mean, you can see it just cranking up
Interesante, se mete en la taquilla
on
directamente.
the Survivor UI there, and now we're getting a teleport to the other side of the
Buah, qué suerte, muy bueno.
map, which we
Vale, en este palet es hostia, ¿vale? Deja el remanente a un lado, él va por otro, y en cuanto el superviviente tiene palet o se mueva, es hostia.
find a very early chase in. Very nicely done by Ultra.
Vale, un simple mago se la ha hecho, así que perfecto.
early chase is what we need, and now we have a chance to put the pressure up that we just talked about.
Bien, así le cierra el camino, muy bien hecho.
Oh, nice teleport to the locker there. Extremely close to Oscar now. Just a few centimeters. Basically, swing.
Vale, tiene que poner la sombra aquí. ¿Por qué? Para que no vaya hacia la otra habitación. Mejor que vaya recto para ella.
Swing now. You need the down. Swing. He's
Vale, ¿hay alguien aquí?
nice. I'm coach. I'm coach of CYNIC
Ah,
now.
ya
Oscar
está.
going down right there.
Vale, palet God, se lo tiene que tirar ya.
And good situational
El M1 está brava, que te iba a tirar palet, sí o sí.
awareness by Ultra. This pallet being taken out, it doesn't matter that he didn't get the injury here. Having this pallet out and potentially a gift. Hello, Zeno, is it Christmas? Or why are we giving a tag for free? This is a crazy early. You get the
Ah, mira, hay otro superviviente. ¿Veis aquí arañazos? Otro superviviente por aquí.
pallet out of there that is really strong. You
Ese M1 no tenía ningún sentido.
have your down. You have
A ver, lo tiró porque pensaba que se lo levantaban, pero que va. O sea, todavía le quedaba.
an injury onto Zeno. That is brilliant.
Yeah, that was really well played by Ultra here. He needs this early game pressure, and even though he hasn't been able to get a hook yet, this is still very incredible to have.
Muy mal jugado aquí.
And
Sara, como me apagues el ordenador, me voy a tiltear que flipas. Es que se sube el ordenador y cada vez que sube el ordenador tiemblo, te lo juro. Como me apaga el ordenador y tengo que reiniciar el vídeo desde cero.
I mean, getting that pallet out of the way
Se van a levantar, se van a levantar.
is also extremely important.
Ahí está, ¿ves?
Because that's a strong pallet, and we often see mind games take forever to make anything happen there. The pickup does happen onto Oscar.
Lo bueno es que tiene 3 heridos, carnicero 8-0, tal, la nocturnidad va a llegar dentro de poco.
But there is so much pressure. All survivors are here. No generators are really being worked on, except for maybe Pedro. But even then,
Muy bien aquí Marco, brutal. Lo ha hecho muy bien Ultra, pero aquí Marco lo ha hecho nada, perfecto.
3 survivors are occupied right now by the dredge, so that is really well done. Nightfall is now active. That's when the dredge becomes a lot scarier. One generator.
Pero bueno, ahí estaba muy jodido,
Fire comes out, but there has been so much going on in Ultra's favor right now that I think it doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer, unfortunately, than expected.
Esto también es brutal, el instinto asesino, que tú ves arriba, sabes que están abajo.
Marco only now going onto the hook here, but I still feel like we have seen a little glimpse of how quickly it could fall apart, right?
Aquí os fijan los supervivientes muy bien, se han estado curando en un sitio que no estaban cercanos los armarios para que la draga, digamos, no te dé esa sorpresa, así que los supervivientes aquí, muy buena organización de curación. Esto me parece no, pero es algo que los supervivientes cuando se curan no tienen en cuenta con draga. Se curan cerca de un armario y te puede una sorpresa bastante gorda.
It still looked pretty organized, or somewhat organized to be more precise, but unfortunately being a little bit too greedy there, but this pallet now out of the game, so we do get the tag here. But yeah, we do see this little glimpse of how much chaos is possible, right? And how these survivors potentially take some
y ahora le va a cubrir. Va a estar esperando aquí y se va a poner en la puerta, seguro.
injuries. Now it will be Petrol very
Casi lo adivino al 100%, creerme que no me he visto estas partidas.
likely taking a hit here for the survivor.
Pero era obvio que le estaba esperando aquí para cubrirle.
But yeah, there he's coming in. All 4 injured now. Not the most safe condition against the dredge.
Definitely, especially when Nightfall hinges upon survivors being injured in order to farm it, as well as survivors being hooked. And you know, this is just doing so much, which is why Sloppy Butcher is such a good perk on the dredge, because it lets you.
Uy, ya llega, no creo que le dé otro tiempo.
Nicely done by Ultra there. That was
Ese muy bueno cortito me gusta mucho para meter el body block en el palo.
a very good way to get the pallet control. Very well done. That is going to be a hook onto LaMarco. And
Otro motor va a caer ya dentro de poco.
And Ultra, I think, is sitting pretty happy right now. That the race sets come on to Pedro, Oscar, and Zeno, but that was so much time wasted that I think that Ultra can be happy about the progress of the match right now. The injury comes out onto
Ya que hay que dejar la sombra y irte para la izquierda.
Pedro, but he's going to go right back and progress the tunnel out. He's going to hope that someone's going for the save, which they are.
Vale, se está enfocando mucho en hitear y volver al gancho. No es mala estrategia para nada.
And now he can get Marco out of the match pretty quickly.
Buah, está fallando muchos M1s, Tía, ¿cómo la ha dado, chaval?
Oh, now we are having the next tag here. Marco still in danger, and Marco is still being followed. Next God pallet, leaving the trial here.
Esto se lo va a valer.
Ultra teleporting. One thing that Elysium did really well is taking care of these lockers. A lot of these teleports.
Yo me hubiese puesto al lado quizá de romper rápidos los candados al salir del armario. Porque si no tardas mucho, en salir tardas mucho.
Actually finding some delay because the survivors were making sure of that. We can see the downside of it a little bit. If you take so much preparation, if you take so much distraction and team play, you are slower on the generator.
Hay que recordar que antes está cerrado, entonces visualmente estaba jodido, pero cuando está abierto no te la puedes jugar. Hay que dejar un remanente aquí e irte hacia la derecha.
Only one of the gens, never mind, 2 of the
bueno, o al revés también.
Gens are completed at the moment. Hopefully Elysium can follow up on their task with the objectives here. We do see
Ahí tienes que estar escuchando, muy atento al ruido. Se va por encima del palet, tanto lento como rápido. Hay que estar atento mucho al oído.
Ultra getting a bit angry here, was thinking about the mind games. Second attempt, will Marco vault?
No
way! No way!
Se la ha hecho. Ahí Marco, muy bien.
What a move by Marco, 2 times
Ahí Marco brutal, la
the
verdad.
winner around this pallet. This is taking way
Bueno, este palet es una puta mierda, ¿vale? Este palet solo sirve para morir, básicamente.
too long, unfortunately. This will be punishing. Rob, I can already hear these gens. I can already hear them.
Yeah, I can't.
Esto va a ser otro motor mínimo, ¿vale?
And to Dyer, this is a little bit too late on the down, but maybe still Ultra can come back from this. I mean, this one's going to get completed right here, and another one is close. They're going to hit them both at
De hecho, dos. Van
the
a ser
same
dos.
time, it looks like. But wow, what a chase from Marco. His last chase of the match was so impactful in getting his teammates time to
Vale, ha ido por Pedro, así que Pedro no acabará el motor, pero va a acabar a alguien, ¿vale? Seguramente.
complete generators. But I mean, that being said, Ultra still has Nightfall going on right now, so he is looking pretty good right now. But either way, I mean, making something happen from this chase is going to be very necessary. As
Juan aguanta Pedro muchísimo y ese palet es una basura, literalmente. Aguanta muchísimo. O sea,
nicely done. He patiently waited out that pallet drop in order to make something happen. The slug's coming out.
muy bien, muy buen viaje.
Oh wow, this is going to be. Oh, he interrupted the reset, Dyer. Wow,
Muy bien, muy buena decisión de Ultra aquí a bajar.
what a great find by Ultra.
Great. Now the counterplay basically from the killer of CYNIC here. We took a little bit too long basically in the previous chase, but in exchange,
Ahí no puede hacer nada, superviviente, no puede hacer nada, literalmente.
now the double down coming out. So a shift by 180
Ha quedado curado justo ahora.
basically in just a few seconds here. Great to see that. The question is, where is our healer and where will they now split? Petrol going towards the left side, Oscar.
Un segundo que voy a cerrar la puerta. Vale, ya cerré la puerta con los angelitos que están muy cantarines.
Nowhere to be found, and it will take too much time now following both survivors, so it is going to be the chance to pick Xeno up again. But this trial looks very different from the previous ones. It's definitely not the control on the Elysium side anymore.
Va con el
Yeah,
siguiente
Elysium
caballo.
is definitely in trouble here. They need to make something happen, and it's looking like it's going to be very taxing for them
Nadie reparando,
to do too much of anything. Dredge is a
Pedro, el motor que tenía casi al 80, diría, ha bajado al 50.
monster in the 3v1 on this map, so he's looking really good. Also, I wanted to highlight the fact that you said that Elysium was doing a great job on the generators, and not on the generators, sorry, on the lockers. And for those of you who don't know, locking both lockers in a
Aquí hay que meter la sombra en la izquierda, porque si no tiene ventana.
cluster of lockers
¿Ves la ventana? Hay que poner la sombra aquí.
is an issue
Muy bien.
because you only need to lock one in order to force the dredge to slow down.
Perfecto, muy bien aquí jugado por Ultra.
Because when the dredge teleports to a cluster of lockers, it forces him to go into the one that's already locked. That is how his power works. So if you lock both lockers, then you're giving the dredge the opportunity to break all of the locks on that lock, and then you have a free, very quick teleport
No, hombre, no me hagas esto, por Dios. Estás jugando muy bien, no me la cagues ahora.
by the dredge. So they're doing really well on that. I mean, that's basically
Ahí era poner el remanente a la derecha, al lado ventana, y hacer lo mismo, y ya está, no tirarme uno al palet.
knowledge for those players that scrim dredge very often. They know these things, but pointing this out for people who may not know this might actually help them out in their public games, and also might give them an understanding of why you see that happen
Muy bien, Oscar, aprovechando para irse a la sala.
in competitive DBD. So very well done to Elysium for at least making that happen. But other than that, the 3v1 is looking extremely punishing for Elysium right now.
Yeah, the service of DBD League.
Pues a tomar por culo. Por haber que hecho esa cagada con la China, ahí en el palet, a tomar por culo a partir.
Ladies and
Seguramente, casi seguro.
gentlemen, when you watch these games, you even learn something for your public matches. And
Yo lo que haría es hitear a este y irme a por los otros. Hitear a este y irme a por los otros,
the
literalmente.
question is, who will be the team that we have to learn from for our Midwich trials in the future? Because at the moment it's going a little bit back to Elysium looking stronger, right? if I would tell you, imagine you would just come to the desk now and you didn't see the trial so far, would you believe that 1.5 minutes ago we had a double down and almost a 4K potential? It doesn't look like that at all anymore. Survivors are up, survivors are running, survivors are progressing the generators. This team doesn't look like being about to 4K and double slug
Vale, y ahora bajar, a toda polla bajar.
anymore. So we are seeing comeback after comeback here from Elysium to Ultra to Elysium again. This is a crazy trial.
And hey, we mentioned earlier, by the way, Dyer, we didn't really think Elysium was too much of a comeback team because they were always dominant. But right here, we're seeing that happen in full force. They are actually very well versed on the comeback, even though they spend most of their time, you know, being the dominant team. But right now, they are on the comeback. They are on the mend, and
Ya está, GG's. Perfecto jugado.
I mean,
Brutal.
well, now not so much because Ultra just found the pickup, and only, you know, is the last survivor standing. So what can happen out of this? I'm not too sure.
No, aquí mal juego por Seno, pero bueno, era difícil.
Because yeah, that's gonna be the down. That was.
Pues está brutal jugado por Ultra, brutal. O sea, el late game ha sido decisiones perfectas. O sea, ha fallado un poquito de mecánicas, pero decisiones perfectas. La verdad, muy bien jugado. Vamos a dar para que veamos cómo los mata, básicamente.
Here because this dominates.
Bueno, pues ahí está.
Well, and
Para que veáis lo que es este killer en este mapa. Jugando con buenas decisiones y con carnicero, ¡buah! Te los haces papilla. Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. Vale, pues vamos a ver la siguiente partidita. Vale, para aquí, perfecto.
Sayer, but
Acaba de empezar, ¿vale? Os fijáis,
will be on the dredge, also rocking the Memory of Maurice skin, which is one of my favorites. I hope no one in the chat is a naysayer, but I'm a big fan of the skin.
Ya sabéis que entre los armarios, bueno, aparte aquí abajo, pero para que quede claro, no tiene radio de terror la draga, ¿vale?
It's my favorite one to use, so I'm really glad that both Obi and Ultra can agree on that because it's really important. Obi doing the same thing as Ultra here, kind of just hopping in a locker for a little bit to farm Nightfall, get it up very.
Y de perks, ostras, ha cambiado bastante. Ha cambiado bastante. Erupción, hacha flagrante, ruina, intención corrupta. Muy bien, pues no creo que le quiten ruina, No creo. Porque prefieren jugar contra ruina que contra erupción. Es que erupción ya habéis visto, gracias a erupción y a tomar buenas decisiones, el señor Ultra ha ganado la partida. Bueno, ha ganado, ¿me entendéis? Ha hecho 4K a falta de 2 motores. Pero por eso que van a jugar con la ruina.
Very early and also interrupting a generator pretty early. Now,
Vale, igual, remanente a la izquierda y por la derecha.
if he opts to continue the chase here onto Ultra, Ultra needs to do a fantastic job in this first chase and not go down very quickly because then
Muy bien, Obi.
that is going to be getting the getting Team CYNIC into a 3v1 extremely early, and they do not want that. They want to stay a 4v1 as long as possible. Otherwise,
Pensaréis, oye, ¿por qué Borja? ¿Por qué no se tira por el agujero y va desde su prudente? Porque se quedaría con el lado malo, ¿vale? Ahí es suplente tirar el palet y tiene todo el mapa. Pero sin embargo, desde aquí, el suplente tiene el lado malo. Se tiene que quedar en la zona encerrada, medio encerrada, porque tiene un pasillo.
the win condition becomes exceedingly oppressive to really make any
Deberá haber aguantado el poder y tal, pero bueno.
progress towards.
No quiere perder tiempo, ¿vale?
Yeah, and Ultra so far taking some distance here. I mean, when we look at the corrupt intervention there at the bottom
Es que este panel no sirve para nada. O sea, ya veis, lo rompe y el suplente no sale.
of our screen, we are talking about round about 80 to 90 seconds. So basically the equivalent of a solo generator, a little bit less than that. So there's definitely the chance.
¿Habrá gancho flagelante?
Ultra dropping down here together with Obi. That is telling us that most
Sí. Es que este mapa, como tengas los ganchos flagelantes mal posicionados al ser doble piso, estás jodido.
likely the survivors are currently working on the top side. And he wants to increase, okay, at least one survivor, and increasing the walk distance a little bit. And see here, however, going to be on a half generator. Lusty has 75%. We heard the Hex Ruin kicking in when the survivor
Si hacen 4 motores ganan la partida, básicamente. Vale, a ver qué tal lo hace.
left the generator. That could be a strategy here for OB, right? Forcing them with teleports away from the gens, causing some chaos, therefore some downtime.
Un muy buen hit.
Also for the heals that are needed in order to not take a risk, and then letting Ruin do their work basically because you're forcing the pressure. That could be a strategy I can imagine.
Absolutely, and I do like that you mentioned that Lusty was working a generator with 75% progress, because the reason why I think Ultra dropped down is because Lusty was working that generator upstairs and had the most progress upstairs. So that was really important to mention, because I mean, you definitely want to let generators be completed
Muy bien, aquí Obi jugando mecánicamente perfecto.
as quickly as possible. I mean, you have a win con of 4 generators, so you
Le queda solo el Ace para herir a todos.
want to make sure gens pop as fast as possible. And that being said, I mean, the tunnel out doesn't look like it's going to be happening immediately, unless we're teleporting straight onto Ultra's back again, which I think is possible. But we do have 3 survivors injured, so I actually have no idea who's here. But maybe Obi does, so we'll see. That being said, we do find Ultra here.
Muy
Drops
bien.
the
God paleta toma por
God
culo.
palette. Very good use of resources here, because you want to make
Ese está con candados.
sure that you last as long as possible
Bien.
and not bring it down to a 3v1 as soon as possible in the game. So that being said, very nice done, very nicely done by Team CYNIC, making sure to lock lockers very accordingly, similar to the last
Eso es fijaros lo importante que es cerrarlo hasta que ya, si no los clientes querían como moscas.
game. So very well done by them. That will be Ultra staying alive just a little bit
Nada, sorprende, no puedo hacer nada aquí. O sea, es que estás mega jodido.
longer. Never mind, he goes down. But yes, he did give a bit of a chase. They are at 3 generators left, and if they can make this happen, they have 2 generators left to pop Dire, so they are looking like
Sac, interesante.
they have a very good
Bueno, Sac, sótano, perdón.
chance of actually getting this to happen.
They do indeed. Again, the reminder, everyone, a tie will not be enough. It would stay as the 2-0
Solo una persona reparando. Uf, turbio esto, 2 personas sin hacer nada.
of Elysium. Of course, you would cause a little bit of trouble because you are stealing, or at least preventing Elysium from taking a clean 3-0. But in order to win here and in order to have a chance for the tie comeback
Lo bueno es que se han resetado todos, los juegos que hemos hecho.
overall, you will need
Bueno, todos. Lasty, Wansi, Ángel estaba...
to get 2 more gens. That's going to be a little bit of an advantage for our killer on Elysium here,
Side.
because basically 1 more gen can pop, but CYNIC overall playing this a lot more safe. They're taking a
No va ni Dios a rescatarle.
lot less injuries, they are not getting slugged, and that kinda... Yeah, that kind of shows me that we were right with our analyzing in the previous trial, where we said Elysium was too greedy at the beginning and they felt too confident because all the palette handing out a attack for free, and this is what backfired. And we see right
Claro, ellos saben que está puesto en una taquilla cercana al gancho, entonces pasan de arriesgarse. Prefieren reparar porque saben que si reparan
now.
2 motores ganan la partida, básicamente.
Here's the evidence, living evidence basically, on these survivors. They are not doing this. They are playing safe, and then you are fine. It's a great coordination.
Muy bien, está jugando Obi perfecto, Ultra muerto. Wansi, Lasty le va a terminar. Lasty no lo sé.
Very well
Tiene que dejarle herido, Tiene que dejarle herido 100%.
played by Obi there. It looks like,
No.
oh, Dire, we have 2 generators about to pop, actually. Wancy has one about 95%
Muy bien, con Lasty, bien.
progress, and he interrupts the generator that Lusty is on, which has a little bit less
Vale, hasta estas alturas, si se mata a todos, es un empate.
progress, but it's also very highly progressed. And Angels immediately hops onto another gen. He knows the plan here. He knows the goal. This is a really, really
Se ve como el culo,
pivotal moment. And the 3v1 is very strong for Dredge. But at the same time, I think that CYNIC has a huge chance to actually make this happen. They just, Angels with the
No sé por qué no ha saltado a la habitación del lado el Dwight aquí, la verdad.
stun.
O sea, Dwight, Ace,
That
perdón.
was so
Beautiful.
important. Very well done. Both these lockers here are locked too, so Obi is going to waste time here
Claro.
trying to make anything happen. That
Aquí aunque saltes da igual, estás muerto igual.
doesn't actually count as a cluster, so, oh, nicely done. Forcing the pick so that Lusty and Wancy can
Le coge por si hay un de frente, ¿vale?
work on generators if they are able to. So well done to them. Is this a pain resonance? It is. That's very
Me refiero que podría romper la cadena de al lado, pero no la rompe porque se pone como un de frente y partido.
unfortunate for Team CYNIC, but at the same time, that was really, really good to see from Team CYNIC.
Yeah, we are going into the next chase here. Ultra has said goodbye now. but we still have a healthy survivor. We have Angels and Lusty, and they are able to crank the gen. And we have 50% already robbed. That should be CYNIC taking
Muy bien aquí.
it.
Absolutely, they are looking like they are on fire for this dredge set. It's no wonder that they chose it because they are doing a phenomenal job.
Este palete es un truño bastante interesante, más contra Draga.
I don't think that ELYSIUM was ready for this, honestly. So it's really hats off to them.
Es un palete muy malo.
But either way, the down does come in. Lusty is on a gen at 75% progress, so it's no wonder that Obi is going to slug this right now. That being said, yeah, he keeps interrupting this generator, and with Ruin still in play, there's no...
Es que si gana CYNIC este partido, claro, tendría que haber un desempate.
There's
O sea, perdón, o 3-1 o 2-2.
no gen damage limit, so he can come freely interrupt this, and the regression will never ever stop. So that is going to be a bit of a problem for Obi here, or for Team CYNIC here. So they either need to cleanse the totem, or they need to hop on a generator as soon as Obi is occupied elsewhere.
Hasta luego.
But they are doing a great job staying alive right now, despite all the slugging coming through. So props to CYNIC for staying so well coordinated in such a highly stressful match right now.
Yeah, I really love to see it. The fans of CYNIC.
¿Cómo juega con macro? Es todo macro, en plan, saber dónde tengo al suplente, tal, este lo tengo aquí, dónde tengo al otro, tal, voy para allá, ayer o tal, voy aquí, o sea, es full macro.
Love it as well. Angel.
Toma decisiones constantes con la Draga.
Injured, Vancy healthy. Still basically 3 tags possible. And with these 3 tags, you need to... Uh-oh. 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 Were you not guided by the angels, my friend? Is that why you are going down?
Vale, cura al Asti que está en el sótano.
But they are picking... Oh, I was thinking maybe Vancy grinded the generator there in the distance, but Vancy just picked up Lusty. So now we are entering this little hamster wheel, basically, right? Where you are constantly picking up and healing and running after your objectives and your teammates, basically, and don't have time for the gens anymore. Rob, that actually might be dangerous here.
It might be, but I do like this decision for Angels to body block for Lusty, so that there's no possibility for him to get the down, but the endurance does run out, so now Angels is dead, and this is a
Creo que no se permite de ese, ¿vale? Contra Draga.
very difficult
Porque Draga es considerado un tier bajo, entonces no se permite pocas specs.
situation for CYNIC. They need to get a generator done, and I am extremely curious to see how high the progress is. And it's not that high at all, Dyer. They
Vale, ya lo tiene ganado, ¿vale? Bueno, ganado, empatado. Porque va a ir a este y solo debe a ver motorías.
are looking like they're going to lose this set. But hey, as Team CYNIC, they've made some really insane comebacks. And I really hope that they have one in store for the Dread set because they need it desperately.
And now a little bit of scouting, a little bit of power collecting, a little bit of silence also. Maybe we can read the book that is on the table there. No, unfortunately not. Obi doesn't seem to be a fan of literature.
Está ahí, porque se ven las arañazos.
Let's stay at the wall then. Yeah, this is not, but now he's in such a dangerous position, right? Like, yeah, they are making a comeback here, and Lusty is working on Ruin is
Muy bien aquí el señor Obi, que no ha sido el mismo ataque, ha sido otra para confundir a Lusty en este caso.
still up. Lusty is
Adiós, Lusty.
injured, needs to leave early, will be downed now. Wancy would need to rotate cross map to pick up this generator. His own one, yeah, was at round about 50.
Vale, ya voy a encontrar
That is actually looking difficult.
Some really cool. Yeah, I mean, hats off to CYNIC. They did do their best to, delay the 3v1 for as long as possible.
Viene igual, sí, bonito para todos.
And they did make some really coordinated plays to bring the pressure back from Obi here, but at the same time, Obi just really put the pressure on, and there comes the injure onto Wancy. One more, and he's down, and that will be unfortunately the loss for Team CYNIC. I don't really think there's much of anything that CYNIC can do at this point. They will be taking the time
No te comas este palet, por Dios bendito.
for the set, which means a loss overall because they don't have any set point, and there's no reason to really
Ya sabes que es el slash este que es en plan cortito.
think that they'll
Pues ya está,
get
¿cuánto da?
the coming out.
It is so
Pues ya está, esto es un empate, ¿vale? De partida de Draga, pero gana ELYSIUM 2-0, ¿vale? Porque ya con el siguiente partido, da igual que CYNIC ganase, que seguir ganando ELYSIUM 2-1, ¿vale? Entonces, vamos a ver. Nada, ya está. Así que ya está, me encanta la partida de Draga, brutal lobby, brutal, mecánicamente perfecto, decisiones perfectas, o sea, igual que el otro chico, como era Ultra, o sea, he visto Obi un pelín mejor de mecánicas, ¿vale? Un pelín mejor, pero nada, partida impoluta de ambos, se han quedado los 4 y le han hecho solo 3 motores, o sea, los 2, pero claro, el hemos llegado ya 2 rondas, así que nada, esta partida es la que más me ha gustado, o sea, me refiero a las de Draga, diría que las que menos me han gustado ha sido las de payaso, ha sido sobre todo la segunda súper corta, pero bueno, artista bien, buena partida, payaso y Draga, excelentes partidas, la verdad que muy bien. Así que nada, chicos, espero que os hayan gustado las partidukis, el análisis, y nada, nos vemos en principio del fin de semana, intentar hacer otro vídeo, ¿vale? Así que nada, muchas gracias por haberlo visto, chavales, os quiero, chao, chao.